This is the 2019 movie review for Togo. It's directed by Eric Secor, and the screenplay is by Tom Flynn. And in the cast, the lead role, Willum Dafoe playing Leonard Seppala. His wife, Constance, is played by Julianne Nicholson. The mayor, George Maynard, is played by Christopher Heyerdahl. Dr. Curtis Welsh, played by Richard Dormer. And Adrian Devell plays Bill Clark. And there's a fair few more supporting cast, but possibly the most important member of the cast in this film is the dog Togo. There are a number of husky dogs in this film, but the star of the show is definitely Togo. And the direction and cinematography is awesome, and it won the Golden Reel Award for Outstanding Achievement in Sound Editing, Sound Effects, at that particular award ceremony. This is the movie review of Togo, released last year. Now, I have to confess, I am a sucker for animal films. Animal films that show the animal as a hero, shows the animal as a beast, and I'm clearly hooked, particularly on films involving dogs. One of my favourite films of all time, and one which repeatedly brings me to tears, is Hachiko's Dog, starring Richard Gere. So I sat down ready to watch this Disney flick Togo, anticipating that it would get a grip of me, and I wasn't disappointed. And this movie was exhilarating, was exciting, was tense. I was in the screen. I was willing the dog and his master to be successful. That visually the director has created some stunning scenes, and let's try and set you up, so to speak. It's set in the 20s in Alaska, and we're in the dead of winter in a small Alaskan town. Diphtheria has taken hold of the young children in the town, and they are at serious risk of dying of this affliction. And there is some serum, but the problem is it's over 200 kilometers away, and in the dead of winter with extreme weather, hostile winds, it appears on the face of it that they are not going to be able to get that necessary medicine. Aircraft cannot fly in, it's far too dangerous. So it falls on the man Seppala. Let me just twiddle down so I can get the actual names right. So it's Leonard Seppala, played absolutely superbly by Willum Dafoe. Now he has a pack of dogs that he uses in hunting as he goes about his daily business, and we then start to unravel the story of Togo. Now, Togo is the lead runner of a 11-dog Sleigh group, but we also go back 11 years, because the dog Togo is now 12, and we see him as a puppy. And the story when he was a puppy, he was the runt in a litter, and Seppala doubted whether he really had the strength or the character to become a dog used as a working dog. Consequently, he first of all offered him as a pet to a friend, but the dog returned following his complete disregard for his new home, totally disrupted, and Seppala decided that he needed to be caged, and that failed because he dug a hole under the ground to get out of the cage. He was then offered as a pet to a second home, and as Seppala left this new home, Togo, in his determination to be with his master, accelerated through a plate glass window, smashing it to pieces in his desperation to be near his master. And so we get a picture of a very naughty but a very, very loyal little dog, who really hasn't got the physique of some of the other Spartan sort of husky dogs in the group, but his determination and his heart, his strength of heart, is personified by his when he eventually has sufficiently impressed Seppala that he is put on the back of the group of dogs, and he immediately shows how his strength and his jettison to the leadership role in the pack. And as we are now in the here and now, although the film does continually flash back to add extra pieces of the puzzle with regard to Togo's early life, we also then witness this astronomical attempt to complete this huge distance to secure the serum in the most adverse circumstances imaginable. The weather is well, it's a monster really, and we witness there are two scenes within this movie that I know that they were digitally created by a computer, but cinema has a way of making that come to life. The first is when the sleigh is hurtling down a mountain at an extreme speed, and the lead dog Togo then sees ahead of himself a cliff edge and does a complete U-turn to try and save him and the dogs and his master, and we witness the sleigh doing a 180 degree swing, and Seppala is only inches away from the cliff edge, and we witness the strength of Togo at the top, digging into the terrain to claw the group to safety. It is quite awesome. And then there's a second scene where Seppala decides that he has to take a shortcut across an icy lake, sea I guess it was, and the ice is constantly breaking up, and there's certain people have told him that he's never going to get across that ice sheet, and that they will all be drowned. And we witness this absolutely exhilarating scene where the dogs go across the ice screen, and the power and the relentlessness and the drive of Togo to succeed is remarkable. And we get almost to the other side, and the distance appears marginally too much to jump, and so Seppala gets off the back and releases the dogs one by one from their harnesses and throws them the extra few meters to the land to save them, and then they drag the sleigh across and he catapults himself across and recovers. And then, after successfully meeting the contact person with the serum, the return journey is littered with doubt about, can this dog, who's the oldest, 12 years old, has he got enough left in the tank to complete the journey? And given the fact that he's lame and all the anxieties that for a dog lover you will experience it, you get all these anxieties about, will he succeed or is he going to die? And you're there, you're immersed in it, and you're desperate for them to achieve the return journey, and then the follow-up about the fact that the dog has really given its all and is thoroughly exhausted, and it appears to be lying in front of the coal fire, being nursed by the wife, who's, I thought, very nicely played by Juliette Nicholson. The wife, Constance, is stroking and nursing Togo, and unbeknown to them, he's gaining some strength from this, and we then reach the end of the movie, and you need to watch that. But I'm sorry if I sound so emotional. I was crying when I watched this film, and if you are a dog lover, and if you like nature films, and if you just like the whole job lot, please get to see this film. It's such and it's a true story as well. There's apparently a statue of the dog that was erected somewhere in Fairbanks, I believe, in Alaska, to reflect on his achievement in saving the lives of these children. And there's a very poignant scene at the end of the film when a recovered child comes to visit Togo, and Seppala is sitting in his chair, rocking chair, completely shattered really, and the child says to him, is Togo going to die? And he just can't handle it, and he leaves the room before the tears start welling up. And I have to say that I'm a great fan of Willum Dafoe, and this is one of his great performances, although he is not the lead character in this film, the dog is. And a nod to the director, Erickson Core, for the sound effects, for the visually spectacular aspect of this movie. So that's Togo, released in 2019.